Well, over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a number of humanitarian crises emerge in different parts of the world, and they've been deeply concerning not just to Canadians who have family in these parts of the world, but certainly to all Canadians who have a deep sense of responsibility to do something when we see people suffering in other parts of the world. That's been our tradition. That's what we expect of our government and what we demand as citizens. Unfortunately, Canada has really been not living up to that standard. First, there was the situation in Gaza. I held a town hall meeting about a week ago, and we had several hundred people come out really expressing their concern about what happened there and the desperate need for humanitarian aid, and in the humanitarian situation that's present in Canada needs to be playing a larger role. But right now we have a situation happening in Sri Lanka, and yesterday we have a huge rally here on Parliament Hill. We also forced an emergency debate as a Liberal Party to talk about the issue and talk about what Canada can do. Because literally tens of thousands of lives are at risk right now. Many people have died, many more injured in a really scary situation that has emerged for the Tamil population in Sri Lanka. Originally the government refused to do anything, including call for a ceasefire. Even though the rest of the world was demanding it, Canada was silent. Only after persistent questioning and pushing were we able to get the government to agree that Canada call for a ceasefire and join the rest of the international community. But there's still so many things that aren't being done. And for the Liberal Party, I just thought I would enumerate some of what those things are that we feel has to be done right now to protect those innocents in Sri Lanka. Number one, Canada should join the United Nations. In fact, it's absurd that we're standing on the sidelines right now in calling for special zones, no fire zones, to be created, where civilians can go and be protected. What's happening right now is that the civilians are caught in the line of fire, and as the bombardment occurs and as the fighting is there, civilians are getting badly hit in that crossfire. They have nowhere to escape. We need to have no fire zones and to allow these civilians to escape as a bare minimum, and Canada should be calling for that and joining the United Nations. Secondly, we need to call upon the Sri Lankan government to recognize the civil and human rights of the Tamil community. This again should seem basic, and the human rights of the Tamil population must be acknowledged, and every government has a responsibility to protect the innocent people in their population. We need to call for a special UN envoy to be sent into Sri Lanka to monitor the situation and give the international community an impartial view of what's happening on the ground and what's happening with respect to these civilians who are facing such dire situations. We need to increase Canadian aid relief. This is a moment in time when Tamils are facing a massive humanitarian crisis. We need to make sure that they have the medicine, food, and shelter to be able to survive it, so that we don't see huge death tolls and untold amounts of pain. And lastly, Canada needs to return to the traditional role it plays as a peace builder, a confidence builder, as an independent, neutral third party that can bring two different parties together for a common purpose of peace.